great I am. I'm gonna float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. I am the king of the world.
G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. All social media is in the description box, and please hit that bell icon so you be notified when I drop that heat. This video is sponsored by my boy Fast Classic. His mixtape is in the description box. It is absolutely free. Definitely give him a download, give him a listen. And this video is sponsored by my boy Matt. Definitely check his apparel out on IG at We All From. Now, I want to talk about Jarretts Hurd today, and Jarretts Hurd is one of my favorite fighters to actually watch today, and it's for a lot of different reasons. Jarrett Hurd is coming off of a loss in his hometown, lost his belts to my hometown guy, Julian J-Rock Williams. I predicted J-Rock was going to win. I predicted he was going to win by decision, and you know, I could kind of see it coming. Now, Jarretts Hurd lost the belts, and after the fight, I know Jarretts Hurd's trainer had some pretty interesting things to say about Jarretts Hurd and the choice of fighting Julian J-Rock Williams. And, you know, he thought it was a low reward, high risk by fighting Julian J-Rock Williams. He really didn't agree with it. And he felt like Jarretts Hurd shouldn't take the rematch against Julian J-Rock Williams. So obviously the writing was on the wall. You could see it coming. Jarretts Hurd is basically going to have a new trainer. Now, who that's going to be, I don't know. But when you make comments like that as a trainer after a loss, is already a time where, folks are probably extra sensitive and all of that. You can kind of see it coming. And he's been Jarretts Hurd's trainer for quite a while. So that's sad to see. I think people just go overboard after a loss. And I just dropped a video about how fighters are looked at and treated after their first loss. And I know y'all see the title of the video. Jarrett Hurd boxing reputation is at a crossroad. And I'm not making that statement because Jarretts Hurd is a bad fighter. I'm not making that statement because he took his first loss and lost his belts. I'm not saying that for those reasons at all. The reason I'm making that particular statement is strictly because of how Jarretts Hurd wins his fights. Jarretts Hurd, when you think of him as a fighter, the first thing you think of is he's big. Pause. He's big, like he's huge for 154. And the reason he gets the majority of his victories is because he's so much bigger than everyone else in the ring. And it's kind of like with basketball. Like if you are so much bigger than the guy you playing against one-on-one, then you just back him down and use your size and get an easy shot. It's similar with Jarretts Hurd. Like he may get hit with some shots early, but he knows after a while he's going to put the pressure on. He's going to lean on you. He's going to lay on you. He just going to keep on hitting you with shot after shot. And physically you're going to wear down because he's the bigger guy. A lot of people look at Jarretts Hurd and think that he's only good because he's big. Me personally, I see what Jarretts Hurd does in the gym, what he does at camp. He's working on technical things in the gym. Like you can see him trying to incorporate that stuff inside of the ring. But Jarretts Hurd is so used to playing the bully that he's never had to depend on his pure skill without the size. And I know this sounds a little weird, but it's the truth. Jarretts Hurd uses his size advantage to win fights. Now, yes, you have to have some type of skill along with it. Jarrett Hurd has some skill, but his main skill is being big. And the reason why Julian J. Rock Williams is a horrible matchup for Jarretts Hurd is strictly because with Julian J. Rock Williams, the size doesn't matter. The size does not matter. And with Jarretts Hurd going into that Julian J. Rock Williams fight, the worst thing he could have did was look at the Jamal Charlo tape against Julian J. Rock Williams. He felt like he could go in there and do exactly what Jamal Charlo did. That's what he thought. That's what he thought. But Jamal Charlo is a better technical fighter than Jarretts Hurd. And he's just as big. So that really didn't matter at the end of the day. It really didn't matter. And going forward, Jarretts Hurd has to really kind of change his reputation as a fighter. Now, if he's comfortable with just being known as the big guy that's just going to be too big for everybody at the division, if that's what he's comfortable with, then cool, no problem. But we've seen this throughout boxing history where guys are just too big for their division, and that's why they're good. I mean, let's keep it real. Broner at 130, he was bigger than everybody else. Broner at 135, he was bigger than everybody else. It's not a secret when he went up to 147, things changed. He couldn't lean on his size and just being bigger than everybody else to win. I'll give you another example. At middleweight, Kelly Pavlik. Back in the day, Kelly Pavlik, he beat Jermaine Taylor and all those guys strictly because he was bigger than all of them. He depended on his size to win fights. And when Kelly Pavlik moved up in weight to face Bernard Hopkins handed him his ass. We've seen this in boxing. You can get away with just being the bigger guy for a certain amount of time, but when you get up there in competition and you're facing top flight guys, you can't be just big. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you can't be just the big guy in a fight and expect to win the fight. So, moving forward, do I think Jarretts Hurd should take the rematch with Julian J. Rock Williams? Hell no. Hell no. That's going to end up being another loss for Jarretts Hurd, and that's going to really, really set him back. I think he needs to go in a different route. He needs to go in a different direction. I actually think he needs to go up to 160 because Jarretts Hurd has to force himself to depend on his boxing IQ and depend on his skill to improve as a fighter. And as long as he stays at 154 and he's going to be quote unquote the bigger guy, he's just going to depend on that in fights. And that may very well be the reason why he takes a couple more losses in his career. Jarretts Hurd has all of the ability in the world, the physical ability, the smarts, all of that. He has everything it takes to be a really, really good fighter, and he's a student of the game. But he's really, really walking a fine line between using your God-given gifts and using the gifts and skills that you've sharpened in the gym. It's going to be interesting watching Jarretts Hurd moving forward. I'm a big fan of his. I hope he does get everything tightened up and get everything together. But Julian J. Rock Williams is just a bad matchup for him, a bad style matchup. And I would love to see them go in a different direction with Jarretts Hurd and just almost rebrand him. It's okay to use your size, but just don't use your size and that's it. He has a lot of other attributes to his game. He just chooses not to use them because he's quote unquote the bigger guy in the ring. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comment section. G5 Jeff TV, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Please share this video, support your boy. Support good content at all times. I appreciate y'all. Peace.